A couple of you have sent me this story right here that just recently happened in Florida. Yes, we are back in Florida again. But before I get started, I have to address something that mainstream media tends to often do when the victim is black. So the victim in this story is the one on the right. But looking at this picture, notice that they put his mugshot up there. Now, I don't know for what reason that, he had a mugshot taken or whatever, but that's besides the point because that has nothing to do with this story. But I know why they do it, because it tries to take away the sympathy factor away from the victim. They do that a lot, especially with black men who have a record or had a record. Because this picture should not have gone up there, but it was like one of the only few that I could find. Unfortunately, when I typed his name in and they kept putting these two pictures beside each other. I don't know why. But anyway, this story, of course, like I said, comes out of Florida right here, and it involves these two guys right here in a Burger King. The guy on the right, and I'm, of course, read into the story, but I'm just giving you a summary of it. The guy on the right was an employee at that Burger King, and this guy on the left was the boyfriend to a woman who was a customer there. Apparently, his girlfriend was upset with the order. She had some kind of verbal exchange with the employee, the guy right there on the right, and she went home and she went and told her boyfriend about what happened, and he came back up there and basically told her, look, you better fix her order or else. And then all of a sudden words led to physical altercations, and the physical turned deadly because the guy on the left ended up shooting and killing the employee behind his girlfriend's words. Now, if I'm gonna pause right here and go back a couple months. If y'all remember, I did a story that was very similar to this, but it was in another state. And I think it happened at a dollar store where you had this mother and her daughter go into a store. I think it was a dollar store, and they got into it with an employee. They got upset. They left the store and then went back home, told her husband and her two sons, who was the brothers to the girl, and went back up there and killed that guy. And now all of them in jail. Now, I don't think anything happened to the daughter, although I think something should have, because she was the catalyst for the whole thing. This lets you know right here, and this is not a slight to women, but it just has to be said. Many of you have been known to start confrontations between men, and they always almost end up deadly. But this is like going all the way back to ancient times. This goes back to Cleopatra, Mark Antony, and Julius Caesar. How do you think she gained that kingdom? She pitted two men against each other who were once friends over her, and they killed each other, and she gained the kingdom. This is nothing new here. Hell, a lot of wars got started over women, greed, whatever. So let me go ahead and get into this story so we can get more context behind this. A woman who was upset that her Burger King order took too long. Already some BS. Got a man to come to the restaurant and shoot one of the employees. Deputies said the shooting happened Saturday around 7:30 p.m. at the Burger King on 7000 block of East Colonial Drive. When they arrived, deputies said they found Desmond Armand Joshua, age 22, suffering from a gunshot wound in the parking lot. He was taken to an area hospital where he was pronounced dead. As part of the investigation, video was recovered that showed Joshua in a physical altercation with a male who had him in a headlock. A witness said the restaurant was busy that night and the drive-thru was backed up, which caused customers to have to wait longer than usual. One woman who was in line was mad about the delay, so she got out of her vehicle and began yelling that she was going to have her man come to the restaurant, so an employee refunded her $40 and asked her to leave. The woman waited in the parking lot in her black sedan for a few minutes, then drove away and returned with a white truck with a man identified as 37-year-old Kelvis Rodriguez Tormes, who was demanding that Joshua fight him. See what I mean? Over a wrong order. She did that over a wrong order at nasty ass Burger King. A man is dead because of her. If they have not done so already, they need to bring up charges on her because she is the catalyst for all of this happening over a messed up order. Are you kidding me? They even refunded her money just for her to leave, but excuse me, that wasn't enough for her. She had to be satisfied in that moment. So she went home and got her man to get in the middle of that mess. And he's no better, because that's a lot of simp energy right there for you to come back up there, which leads me to believe that when she got home, or if she called him on the phone or whatever, she told him just enough, or more than enough, meaning she could have embellished, 9 times out of 10 she probably did, to get him to come up there. Because I don't want to believe that he got that mad to leave his house and come up there wanting to fight somebody and shoot, and then later shoot somebody just because they got her order wrong. I'm willing to bet that she told him way more than what happened. Enough for him to get that pissed off to come up there. Like maybe that he cursed her out, called her a B, maybe put his hands on her or something like that. And I bet you none of what I gave an example to even happened. But she most likely over embellished the situation to get him to come up there. Just like in that previous story I was telling you about at the dollar store. I bet you they went and they embellished that whole thing to get them to leave, because I refuse to believe that just a little incident like getting your order wrong will cause anybody to get up there. If it was, he's as dumb as he looks. Listen, a witness intervened to stop the fight when Rodriguez Tormes put Joshua in a headlock and started choking him. Deputies said after the witness pulled Rodriguez Tormes off of Joshua, Rodriguez Tormes then went to his truck and got the gun, telling Joshua, "You got 2 seconds before I shoot you." Shortly thereafter, Rodriguez Tormes shot Joshua, and then he fled in the white truck while the black sedan also fled. According to investigators, Joshua had just started working at the Burger King a few days earlier. Officials said he was rushed to a nearby hospital where he died. Records show both Rodriguez Tormes and the woman were interviewed after the shooting. Though their statements are mostly redacted, the report did indicate that Rodriguez Tormes dismantled the gun used in the shooting and placed it in a location which cannot be located, which means he hid the weapon. That's more charges now coming his way. Rodriguez Tormes is charged with first-degree murder with a firearm, destruction of evidence, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Now listen to that. That means he already has charges to him, as we already know, because look at his mugshot. But I don't know if that's a recent mugshot or an old one. We know the one that they put up of the victim, which I'm still mad about. That's an old mugshot. It says deputies said Monday that the woman Rodriguez Tormes was with has not been arrested at this time. They need to arrest her. They must arrest her. I hope that the family of the victim demands that she is arrested and put in custody, because she is the one that kicked all of this off. This guy would still be alive today if it wasn't for her. She's just as guilty as her simp ass boyfriend. Burger King released a statement Monday about the shooting. "We are deeply saddened to hear the tragic incident that took place at the Burger King on 7643 East Colonial Drive and passing of team member Desmond Joshua. At Burger King, the safety of the team members and guests is our top priority. The franchise who owns and operates the restaurant is fully cooperating with authorities on this matter. Any questions should be directed to local authorities. The Burger King Macklemore Foundation exists to offer support to team members and their loved ones during incomprehensible times such as this. Our deepest condolences go out to Desmond's family and his friends during this difficult time." This is messed up all the way around. It really is. But it just shows you right here that a lot of women love chaos. That's what she wanted. She wanted chaos and she wanted drama, and that's what she got. And unfortunately, somebody lost their life to this. And it makes you wonder, has she done this before with this same guy or any other man that she's been with? Like, you can tell she's a natural shit starter. This also reminds me of this movie that came out years ago called The Way of the Gun, where in that scene where you had that one chick, that comedian, I forget her name, who was yelling across the way at the two main characters of the movie because they were leaning up against the boyfriend's car and talking all this shit. And then the guy had said something back to her, and she looked over at her man and said, "Are you going to let him talk to me like that?" You can tell by the look on the guy's face that he didn't want to do nothing. You could tell he was scared out of his mind, and he got pushed to go over there and do something, and they both ended up getting their ass beat. Go watch that movie, or at least watch that scene if you haven't seen it, and you'll see what I mean. That scene right there is a perfect example of women starting shit and then getting their man caught up in something. But at the same time, he's no better, and he's not a victim because he went ahead and did it anyway. But like I said before, I'm willing to bet she over embellished the story and said that this guy put his hands on her or called her a B or, you know, whatever. I'm telling you, she did not tell that story correctly. She told her version of it. That was enough for him to get up there and go after this guy, because I refuse to believe that he got that upset because of a messed up order. It happens all the time. That's like no reason to freak out, even though we've seen people lose their mind in these drive-through lines and videos and stuff before. It's not even that deep. Y'all doing that for food that y'all could be able to make at home. And most of that stuff, if any of it, is all not good for you anyway. But the world we live in, and of course, it's coming out of Florida, so this is to be expected in most cases. Okay, so I have to come back on here and add this bit of information in. This is currently the day after I recorded the initial recording for the first part of the video in which you heard. And y'all know how I said that they need to charge the woman as well for her role that she played in this man being murdered. Well, it looks like I got my wish, because on August 5th, 2020, which was the day that I recorded the video, hours later, this woman, Ashley Mason, was charged with principal to first-degree murder and aggravated assault with a firearm. And of course, she is this frumpy looking down Karen that did it. Now, what got me is the fact that they said that this woman is 31. This woman is the same age as me. Now, for those of you who watch my videos in the past have seen my face before, I don't look 31. A lot of people, when they ask me my age, or I ask them what do they think, how old do they think I am, they never say my real age. They'll usually think that I'm younger than what I am, even if it's by 2 years. Looking at this chick, she looks very haggard. So no wonder she's mad. But I don't care about her anger. The fact of the matter is that she was the catalyst for all of this happening. If it wasn't for her, then this man would still be alive. And her husband, because I found out that they are actually married, would most likely not be up on these charges right now. But it says Ashley Mason was arrested Wednesday and charged with principal to first-degree murder and aggravated assault with a firearm 3 days after her husband, Kelvis Rodriguez, was arrested in connection to the same shooting. According to the arrest affidavit from the Orange County Sheriff's Office obtained by People on Wednesday, Mason told detectives that she was upset after having to wait for a long period of time in the Burger King drive-thru line after ordering $33.11 worth of food for her family. Upon arriving at the drive-thru window, Mason allegedly got into an argument with the cashier, Desmond Joshua Jr., who eventually refunded her $40 and asked her to leave. As People previously reported, Joshua was only on his second day on the job. His second day working there. He just started. Mason, what did it say? During the interaction at the window, Mason was on the phone with Rodriguez. According to the affidavit, and her 13-year-old daughter was sitting in the front seat of the car. Mason felt as if the crew was being disrespectful and unprofessional. The affidavit alleged, and Rodriguez said he was coming to the Burger King to talk to them. It says Mason told investigators that she went back home before returning to the Burger King, but video surveillance from a neighboring restaurant showed that she parked her car in the Burger King parking lot and waited for him to arrive. So she never went back home. She called him and told him to come there, even though she claimed she went back home but never did. So she knew exactly what she was doing. I don't have to read anymore. They need to give this chick right here just as many years for the role she played in this, as many years as her husband, because she's the one that kicked all of this off. Like, she was looking for drama that day, and she got it. Unfortunately, she wasn't on the receiving end of it, and now this innocent black man lost his life just doing his job. And he tried to reason with this woman. I'm sorry, this bitch. And look at what happened. She brought her husband into it. And like I said in the previous part of the recording, I'm telling you, she embellished that entire story to get him to come up there, because there's no way in hell you could have had me come up there to deal with somebody just because they messed up your order. Like he didn't, like she probably said that he got physical with her, probably called her all types of stuff. Who knows what she said on that call? That's what they need to do. When they're doing their investigation, they need to get her phone. They need to contact her carrier and tap into them phone records and see if they can retrieve the last conversation that she had with her husband. Because I don't know if she texted him or if she called him. 9 times out of 10, she probably called. So if she called, they need to get them phone records and see if they can retrieve the last conversation she had with her husband on her phone and pull that up and see what she said. And I'm willing to bet that she embellished the hell out of that story to get him to come up to that Burger King and do what he did. Her husband ain't shit, and she's definitely ain't shit either. And they said that she was in the car with her 13-year-old daughter. So now her 13-year-old daughter is a witness. Because you know they're going to try to question the daughter to ask her what did her mother say on the phone to her dad or whoever this guy is, because it's not necessarily that could be her dad. But let's hypothetically say that he is. What did your mother tell your dad on the phone to make him come up there? And if they can't get it out of her, they'll get it from the phone records. Or they'll get it from the phone records and then see if her statement will line up with what she said. Either way, this man is dead. He's not coming back. His family is not going to get their son back or their brother back, cousin, whoever. If he was in a relationship, they're not going to get their boyfriend back. That's done. If he had children, they're not going to get their dad back. And it's all mainly due to her. She's practically the main culprit in all of this. So fuck her forever.